You're listening to the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast, and I'm Lou Temlett. I'm guessing you're having a good day because either you've been on the mats considering getting on the mats, or maybe you're fresh back from your engagement holiday in Vegas. I'm so happy you're here listening or watching this episode. Please don't tap out before the end. When you want to continue performing, start training Jiu Jitsu. I'd like to welcome Corey Pickard to my podcast. Hi Corey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, you're very welcome. So, engagement holiday in Vegas. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so it was crazy. So I've been planning getting engaged to Lucie for a while, and it was actually originally planning for Thailand. So we went to Thailand just over a year ago, trained at Bangtao, and we wanted to go there. And then our airline started canceling the flights literally about 3 weeks before we were due, and I'm there like, oh my god, I've got this ring, I've got this all planned out, and literally in the space of 2-3 weeks we had to cancel it. They didn't give us some refunds for the seats, and we're just like, we're so like, oh my god, what's going on? And then in the background I've got, like, where am I going to get engaged? And then we just thought, let's go Vegas. Like, you know, what happens in Vegas stays there. So literally out of nowhere, we booked a package deal, which was really, really good. So that was ATOL protected. So we made sure that we don't lose any money, which was really cool. And I just started doing some research, and I'm quite like a romantic person. So I didn't want the Vegas on the strip. I wanted it like out in a state park. So I found a really cool state park that we drove to. So we hired a red Mustang and convertible, and we drove it out to the Valley Estate Fire Park, and engaged to Luce, and it was just an amazing trip. Ended up training with the 10th Planet guys as well, like Andy Varela, trained with Coach Casey, and Merab was there, and unreal room. So yeah, it was just a crazy couple of weeks, and just made everything that we can do with what we had.
Amazing. So with last minute change of plans, you still managed to pull it out of the bag, Corey.
I think that's a skill in its own to kind of deliver, and I think that's the big thing. Like I deliver a lot, and maybe that's why. She said because I can just fix everything.
Oh, I love it! I love it. Red. So the BigRed car and kind of links with your handle, and we both have auburn hair. It's not always referenced in the kindest way, but. Talk to me about your kind of passion for things that are red.
Yeah, so the red actually came from a Lakes BJJ camp that I did. So I did it with Wagner Rocha, and he asked a question, and he went, BigRed, because I was about 105 kg at that point, so I was like out of shape, and he was there like, do people call you Red, BigRed? And I was there like, no, it's normally ginger, or Australians say orangutan, I just thought, I kind of obviously did the camp, and I ended up being a UK for a bit, and the kind of handle set. So when I got back, I kind of changed my Instagram. I was like, that's a pretty cool name. So yeah, thanks to Wagner Rocha, I got the name BigRed. So yeah, so it's quite a cool story to say where your name came from. I think that's always a good one. Like, why is it BigRed? Well, that's why.
I love that. Because your name is Corey Pickard, and I've previously interviewed Corey Kent, and I think he thought that there was no other Corey, and then we discovered that there is another Corey, and you've both been matched on Grapple Worlds coming up in July. How did that happen?
Yeah, shout out Grapple Worlds. So for me, like I've competed quite a lot, and I was at a sub-only event at Immortal Submission Series. So they did a first one. I thought, it'd be nice to show my face. And I went there, and I think I submitted the guy like 4 times. We did it gi and no gi to the same submission as well, just different setups. So I used a lot of the setups, and they kind of Gavin was just like, oh my God, like, you're really good. Like, I wouldn't want to be submitted like that to you. I tapped straight away. And I think we've been friends on Instagram for a while, and then they reached out to myself and said, "We've got this show, we've got this opponent, Corey." So I didn't actually know him until this point either. And they says, we think it would be a really good matchup. We saw you at Immortal, we know what you can do, and we think it would be a really good show. So I said, yeah, I'm super excited. I've got to get down to 89.5, so I might be medium red after this. But yeah, I'm about 92 at the moment, so it's not too big of a cut, to be honest. But yeah, it's and thanks, Corey, for taking on the match as well. So yeah, we got moved to the main card to open the show. So I think super excited for it, and I think jiu-jitsu shows should be a show. Like, it should be fun, it should be exciting. From your walkout music, how you walk out, to the actual jiu-jitsu. Like, it's got to be fun. I know the guy takes it serious, and he says he treats his opponents like world competitors, and I like to thank him to treat me like that, and he'll get the same respect back. And just getting in mad shape for this now.
That is incredible. And, it's fantastic that you've been spotted for your submissions and, your style and technique. But to have two Corys on the main card, I mean, how is this your first main card event?
When I did Victory submission, and they moved me from, so I was supposed to be on prelim, but then on the day they're like, "Oh, you're both pretty good, we'll move you to the main card." So I think I opened up Agile for a Fat Kid, shout out him, he's an absolute legend. We're friends and still friends after, and we got bumped to the main card then. So I don't know why they just bump us, but like, whether it's prelim, main card, like either way, like, I still treat it the same. Like, it doesn't add any pressure onto myself, whether it's main card or a prelim. They both, it's the same. I'm there to do a match for 6 to 8 minutes.
That is amazing. Now, do you know what? On these invitationals, we spoke at the beginning of the episode around the the performance piece, and invitationals. I always feel you're on the stage, on the mats, and it is a performance, very much so. And we'll talk about your performance style in a minute, and how relevant that is. But maybe because you are so exciting to watch and entertaining, you get bumped up to the main card every time. So it feels like you've got a few more main cards coming your way.
Hopefully. So yeah, if anybody is looking for anything, send me a DM.
Amazing. So you are having to cut weight for this match. What sort of techniques do you use, and do you find it quite a difficult challenge?
No, so I actually was partnership with BJJ Nutrition, so I was one of his clients for I think about 5-6 months. So we kind of learn to control the calories, some of the techniques to get down in weight, so like the water loading and the water cutting. And I think the biggest thing is controlling the calorie count, like not eating 2,500, 3,000 calories when I'm only, say, burning X amount of calories. So I think it's these next 4 to 5 weeks, it's just controlling how much I'm consuming at the moment. But also getting my steps in daily. So, getting my 7,000 to 10,000 steps and just getting a really good sweat on.
Good. I've had some amazing nutritional people on. Dr. Jen, go and have a listen to her episode, because that is incredible. She talks about having fat-free candy on the day and kind of doing the preparation, like BJJ Nutrition is saying, kind of cutting calories in the run-up. Rather than desperately trying to cut weight in the last week or two. So it sounds like very good advice. Now let's get on to talk about the performance piece, because you haven't always been in jiu-jitsu. Tell me about your previous career.
Yeah, so before jiu-jitsu, I was a musician. So I graduated at the kind of Derby University, studied at the Loughborough College, and played in a band and kind of toured like the UK, played loads of like shows, played in front, festivals in front of thousands. And I've always been on a stage of some sort, even when I was a kid and growing up at like school plays and stuff, and just trying to be the center of attention. Like I love being on stage. And I think as I was kind of graduated uni and toured around the UK and kind of, I loved playing, but I didn't like, okay, well, I need a job. And it's like, okay, well, and it took me a while to understand that like music is an expensive hobby. Like it's so hard to really push a career out of music and actually get an income. So that's why
Corey,
kind of,
you've come into the wrong sport, because Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is really expensive as well. You haven't changed.
Yes. And I think that this is the thing. It's like what I've learned is that actually like I just love it as a hobby now. And I think my music was then. I've moved on from that now. And when I love watching UFC, and I thought, oh, what they do on the ground is really cool. Like, how do I learn that? So the only person I knew was a friend at the time. So this is 6 years ago, and it's still like it's nowhere near as big as it is now. And I messaged my brother's friend who was a semi-pro MMA, and he was there like, oh, there's only one club in Leicester that does jiu-jitsu. And then when I found out there was actually a few more, and then I went to one class and just absolutely fell in love with a local club, and understood that it is a hobby, it is something that you enjoy, and that's why I just put most of my time training 4 or 5 days a week, and then it was about a year and a half ago that I moved to Nottingham MMA to kind of take it just a little bit more serious. I wanted to train with some of the best in the UK that was local to myself. So, yeah.
Nice. Tell me, I just want to go back to your music performance days. What was the build up? How did you feel about performing? And kind of what was your style? What I'm trying to draw out is any parallels to what we might be looking forward to on Grapple Worlds.
Yeah. So I actually played drums, and the style of music that we used to play with, it was really niche. It was called deathcore. So it's like look at the really heavy music, and I think like what I liked about that was just the creativity. It's like for me, and how that translates, like playing drums. I play guitar as well, so I was self-taught guitar, and by having all those like musical influences, like I can have my creativity in my jujitsu. So whereas some people are traditionally, you have your guard pass, you need to grab the knees, you then go to this position and this position. There's quite a structured approach. Whereas when I do jujitsu, yeah, you've got to have a structured approach, but I'm so creative. It's like, I might chain A, Z, and then C, and then B together. And I think, going from music and then to jujitsu, helps. And yeah, I'm just a really creative person. So
I love that. Now, a lot of musicians, because of the using and learning the techniques and the sequence, do you happen to have any languages in your repertoire?
in jiu-jitsu,
No. In life, do you speak any other languages? Is there anything else?
you know what? That's the one thing that I was never able to pick up. Language, like I can barely do English, let alone my grammar's not the best. Thank AI for coming out. But yeah, never able to pick up languages. Like I tried learning French, bought all the books, but it just would never sink in.
Yeah. I am wondering, I mean, because it feels quite, common in society that if you can learn language, you can learn music. They're kind of interchangeable because of the sequence. But I think when growing up in education, certainly in the UK, you're right in saying it's mostly text based and kind of learning from books. But I think if we were to immerse ourselves in another language, I just feel like it might be so much easier. I mean, music is very tactile. You're there, you're learning, you're going with the flow. But equally, jujitsu, you have to try things out. And if it doesn't quite work, then you change it. But learning
Yeah.
languages, I think, I feel like it's a myth. because I don't really. I mean, I've dabbled at French, dabbled at Spanish, and I can order a beer. That's about it. But having those other things, it's a right or a wrong when you're in education, and I think that's not necessarily the best way of learning. But being able to immerse yourself in the thing and get it right or wrong sometimes. Not that I have any sponsors, but my son does Duolingo and does very, very well. And I speak to all sorts of people just in passing, and the active learning, getting things wrong, changing the sequence, and then coming back. Talk to me a bit about your jiu-jitsu career from that first class and how you kind of progressed through.
Yeah, so I started at like a local club in Leicester. So I was probably there for, about 4 or 5 years, about 4 years, including COVID. And, I was competing, I was doing really well. So I think, well, to be honest, my first couple of comps, I think my first 3 or 4, I lost, got submitted. Everybody could do that. I still remember that. I got caught to like a bottom side, like Kimura. One fight went the distance. So yeah, we know the crazy white belt fights. Progressed into blue belt, did pretty well at blue. So I got medaled at the British Open, the British Grand Prix. And then I took a little bit of time to myself for a while, for about maybe a year and a half, just, focus on self-development and just keeping the jiu-jitsu a little bit stable. Yeah. And then what happened was when I was kind of at the end of the blue, I went to Thailand, and I was actually falling like out of love with it a little bit. And when I went to Thailand, I was at a different club. I was there for like 3 weeks, and I trained at Bangtao, and there was like UFC champions on the mat, and it was just a crazy environment. And I was like, wow, this is what like a different club like feels like. Like, you go to loads of different clubs in the UK and it's great, but like to go out there and, it's a really high level, it kind of sparked the energy back into saying, oh, you know what? Like I really enjoyed it. And I think it was the environment that I really loved. So when I made it a mission for myself that when I get back into the UK, I want to find an environment that suits my growth. Yep. So my mum's got a place down south, so I've got loads of relationships with like D'Souza Dojo. I've been to Paul BJJ. I know loads of guys at like who train from Ippon. I want to go there in this summer. So I was kind of looking down there like, oh, is this the place? And then I was looking at, I got a couple of guys at Gracie Bar of Birmingham, and I was there like, like what is for me? And then I thought, Nottingham, it's like down the road. I know Shane, the Goth Lord, and I thought, wow, like, let's just go. So I think I went to one class. And I was just like, yeah, this is the environment for me. Like I just walked in, everybody was so friendly. Yeah. And I've been there a year and a half now and absolutely love it. So yeah, shout out Nottingham. Thank you.
Good. Now, does your relationship to the music you used to play and training with Shane, the Goth Lord, have any relation?
I think like when I roll with him, like in my head, like just metal music starts playing. And yeah, like he's just attacking me and whatnot, and you're just hearing rah. So yeah, like when Shane's in the room, like you've definitely got that music on, and then if he's in a bit later or something, you've got like, I don't know, Barbie or I don't know, some like charts music going off, which is amazing. It's just as fun, it's just as chill. So yeah, it's a different different kind of vibe, but the music in the room definitely influences what type of rolling you can have.
Oh, I'm praying.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Grapple Worlds. Grapple Worlds is a statement BJJ event hosted in the UK, founded by grapplers who believe in rewarding boldness, where fighters get paid to go for the sub, all fight and submission-focused action from start to finish, with every single match offering a cash bonus for submission. High-level athletes from around the world are invited to show us their fighting best. Go follow @grapple_worlds on Instagram for upcoming events. Grapple Worlds, where the finish is everything. This is the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. One of the things that would really help this show grow is by you subscribing on whichever platform you are listening or watching on. If you could do that for me right now, I would be forever grateful. And as always, check out the clips on Instagram and YouTube. Today, I'm having a conversation with Corey BigRed Pickard. So, Corey, you're preparing for Grapple Worlds. How are you feeling about it?
You know what? Really, really good. Like for me, it's nothing different from, a competition or a local competition. So, like training my cardio, my rounds. I'm not pushing too much, so I get injured. The last thing that I want is, a last minute injury, like I've popped my ankle or I've got, something injury, and I think that there's so many of that going at the moment where people commit to these things. And it's just not a good event for the promoters. They're losing out on money. The fans might have a show less, and then they've got to find, you're adding stress to everybody else. So for me, these next kind of 6 weeks is be safe, train hard, and get ready. So yeah, it's pretty much chill. I think for me, I don't take things too serious. Like where I get stressed, for me, like if I start to get stressed, I know something is wrong. So that stress management cycle is really important for me. So yeah, getting ready by training good.
Good. So it's chill out music or the Barbie soundtrack you're training to at the moment?
Pretty much. Lucie's got a good road trip because the majority of stuff that I listen to is probably metal music, and Lucie made a really good road trip playlist, and I put that on. It's got a bit of Scissor on, a bit of Justin Bieber, so yeah, that's quite nice chill music.
Good. I like that, and it's so important that if we're on an invitational or a competition, that we're keeping ourselves safe and not kind of getting ourselves involved with injury prior to events like that. We've got to look after ourselves, and that's the primary thing. We talk about looking after our training partners, but ultimately we're responsible for us. We are the priority.
Yeah, when you're in a submission and I don't know, I see so many people getting injured from a submission, and it's just tap. For me, it's I would rather get whether it's a competition or a training, it's I shouldn't have got caught in that position. So I would rather tap. And then what I do is I go back and learn, okay, well, how did I get in that position? What can I do? If it was a footlock, okay, well, at what point was I feeling the threat of the tap? So yeah, definitely embrace the tap and get back to the mat the next session or the next day.
Good. Very good advice, Corey. Thank you for that. Now let's talk about the other part of your life, which is or one other part of your life, which is your career and your kind of leadership, team development stuff. How is that going, and how is that kind of filtering in to maybe some of your jiu-jitsu learning, or the other way around?
It's really good. So I've been a team leader for officially about 3 years. But before that, I was a coach, and it's kind of a call center environment. So I kind of first learned how to coach people from taking calls and what they can do differently, and then moved into leadership. And then recently, I got my yellow belt in Lean Six Sigma problem solving, and I've just completed a limitless leadership development course that my business does as well. So loads of stuff about development. And I think the big things that I learn is one, how do you learn? What is your learning style? Someone, just because someone is good, they've got to learn. So it's are you auditory? Are you visual? Are you a physical person? So for me, it's physical. So I will watch and then I'll do. Whereas reading something, I can't imagine anything worse reading.
That's going back to the French. It's going back to the French or learning a language at school. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for us.
No, not for me. So yeah, once I kind of learned my kind of learning styles through my workplace as well, that definitely put the edge on jiu-jitsu. And I think that's why I was able to kind of really pick up jiu-jitsu at a high level really fast, because one, I learned how to learn, and then also how to problem solve. So if I'm getting caught in a triangle at a class, I would be there like, okay, I got caught in a triangle. How did I get caught in that triangle? What led me up to that position? And then it's okay. Well, what are my gaps? Okay, well, like, was my head positioning? Was my body structure right? And then you then go to your next actions. Well, what I'm going to do differently next time is this. Obviously, jiu-jitsu is hard because it's you can't like put yourself in the situation. However, if you really want to, you can start baiting people. So your opponent, you don't need to say, I'm going to learn. Because I think when you say to people, like, I want to learn how to get out of this triangle, it starts to go in a structured kind of regime, and it's not as natural flow. Whereas what you can do is keep it in your mind to say, well, actually, like, the aim of what I want to get into this open mat is I want to get out of people's triangles, but I also want to know at what position that I can start getting out. So you start baiting them, you start giving them your arm, and then you're like, okay, well, can I get my head out? Can I posture up at this point? Go deep in a triangle, see how deep you can go, and then you learn from it. So whether that's triangle, arm bar, heel hook, toe holds, you can apply those principles in that. And I think it's definitely like a gap that's missed in jiu-jitsu. It's like that natural learning, and yeah.
I would agree. Now, we will continue talking about your kind of work life and your leadership, but what is coming up for me, I'm so pleased you talked about baiting moves, because that's where my mind was going. It's like, how much can I bait them to do this thing to me? And then at what point can I get out safely, or can I, reverse the situation and submit them? So I'm pleased you kind of dealt with that. So the different styles of learning, and I think that's where, if a style of learning is not working for us at a particular club, it might be an opportunity to experience how different techniques are taught in different places. I had some really interesting kind of coaching this last weekend, where it wasn't detailed. It was a concept and kind of sequence of moves, but there was one piece of detail, and then it was all general. But in lots of different clubs, it's all taught different ways. But it's having that freedom to experience what other clubs and how they teach that work for you, because we might not find the right club to start with, but it's okay to seek out something that works for you.
I think that's the thing. It's people think, oh, whether it's cross training. I remember, like, when I first joined, I had to ask permission. Oh, is it okay if I go train at another club? And thankfully, the instructor at the time was, pretty cool by it. Like, I haven't got a problem. Why are you asking? But I've heard other people have like, you can't do that. You can't teach there. And it's just like, it's just crazy that people won't experience like the community. And I think I love meeting new people, whether it's in Asia or America or even Europe, where I've trained. It's like, every time I go on holiday, I'll also look for a club in that area and I just take my gear and just turn up and have an amazing time.
So how did your fiancé take it that on your engagement trip in Vegas, you were training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? I mean, you're still alive, so that's fine. Tell me about how that is going down.
Yeah, it's good. Like, Lucie trains jiu-jitsu. She's a white belt. She just got bronze for ADCC. I think it's the English Open that she got. So yeah, she coached her through a footlock, which was awesome to see her win that. But yeah, I think like the engagement, she didn't see that coming. So the plan was always to train out in Vegas, but she didn't know the engagement was coming. So yeah, there's just lots of exciting adrenaline going through for that trip.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that you both train, and congratulations, Lucie, on your bronze at ADCC. I will be following your journey as well. Corey, let's kind of come back to the leadership piece and the coaching, because I'm kind of interested to hear your style and technique and how that might continue your journey in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, I think like when I look at coaching from when I'm doing it from a works perspective. You have an experience, so you need a good level of experience before you can show like a technique or run the class. And for me, it's there's two sides of the coaching. It's a coach is there to bring the best potential out of somebody, and I think people forget there's a difference of coaching somebody to improve and telling somebody what to do. Telling somebody what to do is not coaching. It's I'm going to give you direct instruction or feedback. Coaching is more of an open dialogue.
Yeah.
You come to me, I will use all my techniques to ask open questions and help you get the answers where you want to go. And I think when people call themselves coaches, it's like, are you a coach or are you just giving instruction? And I think, like building myself up and when I, whether I'm training at Nottingham or teaching at Nottingham MMA, like there is a difference between teaching, coaching, and I think people need to understand like the differences of all those. So definitely, like some of the coaches that I've had, push myself through the rounds. Okay, like what went well? What are you going to do differently next time? Yeah. Okay, we'll go in there and get another round. And then there's another side of, okay, do this, do that. And it's like, it's good. It's all good feedback. But, there is a big difference. And I think like having me going around and experiencing the different types of teaching, training, coaching, being trained from a professional perspective, like I am excited. Like my Lucie gives me good feedback that if she can listen to me, anybody can listen. So that's good feedback from my fiance now. So I'll take that one. So yeah, like I'm excited to eventually, one day do some seminars on some of the stuff that I really do excel on. So yeah, I'll be looking to build my brand and getting my name out even more.
Good. Corey, what are you known for in jiu-jitsu at the moment? Do you have a technique or a move that is kind of shining through as a purple belt?
Yeah, so it's definitely my leg locks. Like I'm a guard player and I've got no shame in playing guard. And my leg locks come from various entries. So I think my style of jiu-jitsu definitely plays well for sub only, given like I'm a really active guard player, so I'll be coming forward for you. So whether it's going for the legs or getting the exposure for a setup for a top side, whether that's Kimura or triangles or wrist locks or just something, I'll be using something to set up getting me open on either the legs or your arm setup or Kimura Americana, all those. So yeah, I'm a very like fluid movement between top side and bottom side. So yeah, like I'm really active with my guard.
Good.
And I'm a big guy that plays guard as well. Like when I was 105, coming down to, I'm about 91, like I play guard pretty good.
Good. I love that. Everyone needs to kind of coach themselves and find their own, sequence, techniques, submissions, and just be good, even great at those things. Dare I ask what your walk-on music is going to be at Grapple Worlds?
You'll definitely find out, and it's going to be a bop. So yeah, you'll have to wait to find that one out.
Okay, that's fine.
I was thinking about ordering some costumes, so I'll have a think of what we can do for the show.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited. Is it being streamed as well as at the venue?
Yeah, so there is a pay-per-view link that we can send out, and then if anybody needs tickets, you can reach out to myself and we can get you that sorted.
Amazing. Well, good luck for Grapple Worlds. I am excited to see you and Corey on the main card with both of your experiences and the performance element of the whole thing. It is undoubtedly going to be the most exciting match of the night.
I can't wait, and especially with the Soul Taker that have said that they're going to give the bonus for the main event. That's even better for us on the main card. So like me and Corey, like those 6 to 8 minutes are going to be good. So you better be prepared, and for the crowd, like it's going to be a fun show.
I am very, very excited. Now, Corey, how can people follow your journey if they're not already?
Yeah, so get me on Instagram, BigRed.bjj. I'm posting quite often and sharing some cool stuff, whether it's in the UK, going off to Europe, recently Vegas. I'm trying to go around the community. So if there's any clubs in the UK that I fancy, I'll keep my eye out for an open mat and stuff like that.
Good. I will be not necessarily joining you, but I love going to open mats all around the country. You never know where we're going to turn up next.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Corey. It's been really great to chat with you. And now I've got a little tick box. I've had 2 Corys on the show. We'll see whether there are any more.
On the show, hopefully we don't get confused. It's like, go on, Corey, and we're both like, who? Which one?
I love it. I love it. Well, good luck with everything, and congratulations on your recent engagement. Wishing you all the luck and best wishes for your futures.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. And as soon as this episode ends, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the Jiu Jitsu Loop podcast.